friends to Unity of Fort Myers. We appreciate you being with us today, and we want you to know that you are very welcome here. Our God is love, our religion is oneness, and our race is human. So everyone is welcome here with us this Sunday. We're excited because we have a special guest for the next 7 weeks, and that's Reverend Robert Brumet, and we'll be discussing the evolution of consciousness, how you birth a new reality. So stay with us and stay through the series with us. We appreciate you being here.
Peace in my life is growing because I choose love. Love's always present, it's what I'm made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one tie that binds us, that can't be undone. I choose love. I choose love. Peace in my family is growing because I choose love. Let love be present, it's what we're made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one loving family, sharing one son. I choose love. Peace for our planet is growing because I choose love. Let love be present, it's what we're made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one choice unites us. Let this be the one. I choose love. I choose love. I choose love.
Good morning, Unity, and happy Memorial Day weekend. This really got here pretty quickly. It's Jerry again, and I am Assistant Rev Carla today. So as you know, I start with the announcements. So there are 3 ways to stay informed and connected with events that are being hosted by our church. The first one is, number 1, we could read our weekly connection update emails that we get. And by the way, that one is my favorite. Number 2, we can log into our website. Or 3, we can open our Facebook page. So there is where we're going to find the Zoom links for our classes, which is held on Tuesday, our prayer and connection time held on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And we have coffee talk today at 10:45. Reverend Carla is also available to us on Thursdays, so give her a call. Schedule some time with her. She misses hearing from you. And by the way, did you hear the good news? She's coming back to Fort Myers June the 1st, and we can't wait to have her here. Unity is founded on prayer, and we are committed to prayer. Our prayer chaplains are here for you. So please send in your prayer request. You can email us, you can call the office, you can put them in chat. You can also call Silent Unity. They're available there 24/7. Now, Carla will now open us in prayer.
So if it's comfortable for you, just close your eyes. And let's imagine that we're forming a great big circle around the world together. That we're connecting our energy, we're opening our hearts, we're opening our minds to new ways of thinking about things. So in this moment, we're open to the wisdom that is within each and every one of us, the wisdom that is the inspiration of God, of Holy Spirit. There are many names for God and many ways to worship God. We want to bring that experience up within us so that we can birth something new and wonderful, a world that works for everyone. I believe, and we open ourselves to having this discussion this Sunday. Amen.
So we have a reading today from Colossians chapter 2, verses 2 and 3. My goal is that they may be encouraged in heart and united in love, so that they have the full riches of complete understanding, in order that they may know the mystery of God, namely Christ, in whom are hidden all the treasures of wisdom and knowledge.
Wouldn't we all like to know the mysteries of God? I'd rather have an experience of God than be talking about God. So today, I'm really delighted to introduce to Unity of Fort Myers and all of you watching this online, Reverend Robert Brumet. Robert Brumet is a teacher, a writer, and a spiritual director, as well as a very good friend. He conducts a variety of retreats, seminars, and classes that focus on meditation, self-awareness, and spiritual development. He has presented in over 150 churches and retreat centers all over the United States, Canada, and the Caribbean. He's the author of the book we're going to be studying for the next 7 weeks, Birthing a Greater Reality. Whoops, I'm moving it the wrong way. So if you've got the book, follow along with us. There's questions at the end of the chapter. And if you have a question you really want me to ask Robert, please email me, revcarlamcmc@gmail.com. Welcome to Unity of Fort Myers, Robert.
Thank you, Carla. It's a joy and a privilege to be here. And thank you for the invitation.
Well, you certainly were a big part of a transformative experience I went through when I was in ministerial school. So I'm just delighted to be able to share your wisdom with this community as we talk about birthing a new reality. What a perfect book for right now, as we're wondering what's next? What's the next step we're going to take? How are we going to be with each other? What is church even going to look like in the future? So if you don't mind, I'm going to ask you some questions and you fill in the blanks for the people. So what is conscious evolution, Robert?
Well, evolution, first of all, most people think of biological evolution. You know, today when we talk about evolution, we think of Darwin and evolution of the plants and the animals. What I'm talking about is the evolution of consciousness. The evolution of consciousness has been running parallel with the evolution of the form, biological form. And at this point, the evolution of consciousness is growing faster than the biological form is. And so human beings don't look a whole lot different than we did, 200, 300,000 years ago. And yet our consciousness is extremely different from what was back then. So we have evolved in consciousness, but not necessarily in form. And that's going to continue ever more rapidly. So conscious evolution is recognizing that we are not only growing in consciousness, but that we are now at the point where we are directing the process of evolution itself. So we become, I use the metaphor sometimes that we're no longer passengers, we're drivers. And we need to grow up and be able to be mature enough to get behind the wheel. And that's the other aspect of it that I talk about in the book.
Yes, that differentiating between the voice of wisdom and that ego that we all have, but we can transcend personality and shadow and really be in the creative field of possibility together. And it's certainly the call we've got now. So you say in the book that we've got an important choice right now. What are you referring to?
Well, it's a choice that is about choosing who we really think we are. And for hundreds of thousands of years, we've been identified as being human beings. And we have focused on survival. And that's worked fairly well so far. We've survived, sometimes to the detriment of other species, and to the planet. But we've made it this far. But the question is, are we going to continue to make it? And if we keep doing it the same way, then we're not. It's like if somebody once said if we keep doing things the same way that we've been doing it, then it's going to be fatal, fatal for the human race, because we have to be here and living in a totally different way than we are now. The problem with the way we live now is we're identified with the personal self, the ego. And that ego says, what's in it for me? Ego simply means I, and it means that I is the center of my worldview. It's the center of why I act. It's the center of my whole life. So we unknowingly look at everything in terms of how I can gain from it. And as you mentioned earlier, when we recognize that we're more than the ego, when our identity is shifted to that Christ awareness, then we recognize that the ego is kind of like our body. It's a tool. It's a vehicle.
Yes.
So we can use it to build bridges and to balance our checkbook and to function in the world. It's great for that. But when it comes to really making choices and living together in the larger context, living with ego is not working. It's thrown us way out of balance. And that's I go into quite a bit of depth in the book about how imbalanced we really are, and so our ego has developed great technology, incredible technology, astounding technology, and yet at the same time, emotionally, psychologically, and spiritually, we are as naive as children. We're really lopsided in our development. We don't know who we are, and that's really has to happen now. So in the past, it was like, wow, I'll look at this saint or look at this mystic, they made this breakthrough. Well, they're making that breakthrough to make the way for all of us to make that breakthrough. And it's not only a luxury, but it's becoming a necessity for survival.
I truly, truly feel that this is that creative time for us all to maybe put aside old structures that keep us arguing with each other or being defensive or not being accountable for our behavior, but that keep us in the murmuring in the wilderness. It's time to enter into the promised land, to the land of milk and honey, if you will. And that is possible. In fact, you're saying it's imperative.
It's imperative, exactly, and but it's not easy. See, that's the issue.
Or comfortable.
It's not comfortable and it's not easy, and the discomfort comes from the fact that we have identified the ego with our survival strategies, and that's worked very well. That we have survived well because we're able to create airplanes and houses and build clothes and everything, make clothes. And so we're living much better than the animals are. And yet at the same time, if we're identified totally with that, then we may survive up to a point, but we're not going to survive beyond the present moment. To let go of that identification and to be willing to take the next step up the rung of the ladder, so to speak. Before you can get from one rung of the ladder to the next, you have to let go of the one you're standing on. And there's this period where we don't know who we are.
Yeah.
It'd be very frightening because it feels like I'm losing and giving up everything. And I feel very vulnerable. And so anytime we feel vulnerable, it's very challenging to not try to rush into some kind of a defensive posture. And that's exactly what's happening today, is that we're resorting to old behaviors that aren't working and didn't work in the past. But rather than live in the unknown, that's, for some of us, that's too uncomfortable. And so some people are resorting back to some very old ways of being, and we're seeing that all over the world.
I know. I noticed it myself that that I could get triggered more easily and become defensive, and that was fear-based. Because I don't know what's next. Instead of being with the mystery of God, of co-creating something new, that ego, you've got to know, or the world will fall apart if you don't. It's crazy making, and I'm so willing to surrender from it.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, Robert. What made you think of birthing for the title?
Well, I think birthing implies that, first of all, you're pregnant. And so we have within us the seeds of that new reality that we have within the pattern of the Christ consciousness within us. We have all that we need to bring forth the new reality. It's, if you will, programmed into our spiritual DNA. But the problem is that the old structures have to come to have to be released. And if we're afraid of letting go of the old structures, then it's going to be even more painful when that birth takes place. Because we're not, if you're not relaxed when you give birth, it's much more painful. And that's what's happening to us, is that we're holding on to the ego structure, and yet evolution is pushing us further and further beyond it. And so we have this push-pull. We have this need and desire to go beyond who we are, and yet at the same time we've got this fear that's causing us to hold on to the past. And we all are aware of this. I think everybody can relate to the experience of saying, okay, God, I surrender, I will be done. And then pretty soon we're grabbing a hold of something and saying, but that's not what I meant. I want to surrender, but I still want to hold on to this, that, and so on and so forth. And to completely surrender feels like I'm giving my life over to something that I know not what. And it's especially difficult in our culture, Carla, because we have no unified spiritual cultural paradigm. Our cultural paradigm is one of materialism, consumerism, and if you can't measure it, it's not real. So when we let go of that, what's left? We don't know, you see. But if we lived in a culture that had that spiritual underpinning, we would automatically know that we're letting go of the lesser to move into the higher. But right now there's this vacuum because there's not a spiritual foundation. And I think that's the role of unity and many other of the progressive churches and movements, is to help create in the culture a place that says there is a higher power. There is something we're moving towards. There is an intelligence that's underpinning this whole thing. This is just not random happenstance and circumstance what's going on in life. This is the result of some very powerful forces at work. And we can work with those forces intelligently, or we can struggle against them. And if we do, it can be very painful and maybe even catastrophic.
So birthing a new reality, as we study this book and as people are reading the book, if you have any questions, write them down and send them to me, and we'll have a time with Robert further down the road where he will answer your questions, because it's quite amazing to see the questions just come up from within him, and he's saying that's true of us too. We have this wisdom, we just need to pay attention to it and practice certain practices to become more skillful, more at ease with the surrender process. I give up. I don't know, but I know something is coming forward. So next week, Robert, we're going to talk about who we are and the evolution of the Bible. Is that right?
Yes. Next week, I'm going to talk about some of the basic frameworks and theories of evolution. And it's looking at the evolution of consciousness and finding some ways to identify stages of that evolution.
Great.
Because as we recognize the stages of evolution, then we've got a framework to see where we are, where we came from, and where we're going. And if we don't have that, then we feel like we're hanging out in the middle.
So there is a way that we can create a structure of certainty in the uncertainty, and you're going to be helping us really begin to embrace the different stages.
Exactly. Recognizing there is an intelligence, but it's greater than our own intelligence. And so we have to surrender our intelligence to the greater intelligence in order to become part of that and work with it. And that's a great paradox. As Jesus said, when I lose my life, I gain it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so that's exactly what we're doing, is we're losing our old life and gaining a new one. But if we're not willing to let go of that old life, we can be in trouble.
Yes. So I look forward to being with you next week. And I know that our watchers are looking forward to this structure you're going to build for us as we enter into the birthing. Would you be willing to lead us into a meditation now, Robert?
Yeah, that'd be great. So let's take a moment and just imagine that within you, within your very heart, is the same wisdom, the same life, the same love that birthed this universe. That your very heartbeat is beating in tune with the rhythm of this universe. Within you is the archetypal pattern of the new universe, the new world. Our work is to know that, to surrender to that, and then to listen to its guidance. To listen to that still small voice that is present when we get ourselves out of the way. So we take a deep breath, and as we exhale, we let go, And as we exhale, I invite you to just rest in the silence with me for about a minute and just listen. Just listen to your heart. Listen to that deep inner wisdom within you. And as we return, know that you have been given that which you need. Even if the mind is not aware of it, it doesn't matter. It will unfold in your life and be revealed to you as and how it needs to be. Our work is to trust that, to listen, to trust, to have the courage to take a step forward into your destiny and into the birthing of a greater reality. And amen.
Tell no lies, I won't even try to contain it. What I feel, it is real, it is bigger than me. No, I can't ignore that my life is more satisfying. From inside, can I hide the light that is burning? Just a tiny ember spark this change in my life. Life can carry me gently forward to the next perfect step. No rush or no hurry. I am happy here where the sky is clear. Just be now in the flow, letting go. I'm milking this moment. It's the perfect time for my star to rise again. I just stop asking how, give myself to the now and let love be. I'm I'm feeling new. This is the best. I am staying true, not settling for less. I am breaking through. This is the best day yet.
Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we also have forgiven our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from error.
For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever and ever. Amen.
Amen. We continue to be so grateful to each and every one of you for your continued support of our church at this time. It is so helpful with our ongoing expenses. As you know, there are multiple ways to give to support the work that we are doing here. Text the word give to 833-981-0722 as one option. Another option is you can click the donate button in the upper right-hand corner of our website. Additionally, you can also mail a check into the office. Now, Carla, can you please bless these offerings?
Yes. Let's rub our hands together as we bless the givers and the gifts, knowing that it is through love that these gifts expand and grow and spill over into all the ways that they are needed. Amen.
Now, everybody rub their hands and join in as we are going to bless the children around the world.
Around the world.
You are loved, special, and important. We behold and bless the Christ you are. And as we approach the closing of our service today, and we continue to raise that vibration of peace within us and expand that out, let us say together, let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me, with us. From your homes, please join in saying the prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am that light. The love of God enfolds us. I am that love. The power of God protects us. I am that power. The presence of God watches over us. I am that presence. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. Thank you, everyone, for joining in. Reverend Carla, any closing remarks?
I just am so delighted to share this experience with you all. Reverend Robert, thank you. Jerry, thank you. I'm just so grateful for this experience to know some stages of birthing something new. Till next week, my friends, be blessed. You certainly have blessed me.
Say thank you, thank you, thank you, 'cause I'm so grateful, oh grateful, I'm so grateful. So I want to say thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. Thank you for my friends, Spirit, thank you for my friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit, thank you for my friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. Now thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. I wanna say thank you. Thank you. I wanna say thank you. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I wanna say thank you. I wanna say thank you. 'Cause I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. So grateful. So grateful. So grateful. So grateful. I'm so grateful. So grateful. I wanna say thank you. I wanna say thank you. Just thank you. Thank you. I wanna say thank you. I wanna say thank you. Thank you. Thank you. 'Cause I'm so grateful. Yeah. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I wanna just say thank you now. Just